Working. Alright, looks like it is on my end. Can you check? Please. Sorry I'm late. Dinner ran late. Putting the kids down ran late. What? Good. Cool. Alright. If you guys can hear me just fine, and if you can see the stream as well, can you comment a thumbs up or something? Let me know it's good. And then also, please like and retweet the stream. Let people know that it is starting. Again, I know it's 10 minutes late, so if you can, please just like and retweet it. That way they can see it, get this shit out there. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Braden. Thank you, Delta. Thank you, Leah, for reposting it. Thank you, OZMT. Thank you, Nix. Cool. So imagine everybody can see and hear me just fine. If they are reposting the stream, that means you heard me say it. So that's good. Alright. Sweet. Let me check Discord. Tesla is up 6% after hours. DJT was up 20. But the stream is going to be very short. Tonight, I still have, I only did half my homework so far. So, I got 3 things, obviously, that I'm going to be looking at are SPY, QQ, and IWM. The other 3 that I'm going to be looking at is SHOP, AMD, and Meta. And then later tonight, I still have to make the Peakbot watch list for my account. So I wanted to spend some time reviewing some charts offline later and do the Peakbot later tonight, probably around like 10. So, alright, gonna jump straight in here with SPY. That was a fun short the other day right there. Almost when ATM bot went short up here and caught this. So SPY. Futures are up a little bit right now. Not as much as I thought they were going to. Put this on here. And 1, 2, 3. So this currently, from where SPY closed, for what I'm going to look at here, this will be my current, whoopsies, I clicked on the wrong thing. No, there it is. That's what I needed. So I'm going to look for SPY up to 560.53 to act as supply, and from 558.5 to be currently acting as demand. If SPY loses 558.50, my targets downside are going to be 557.6, 557.15, and then 556.65. After that would retest that previous bigger demand zone down here near the 550 psych level. Above 560.5, I'm going to target obviously probably psych level 561 area. 561, 561.4, 561.8, and then 562.3. I'll target that upside as well. So, going to see where the market opens up tomorrow. Anything can happen. This thing could absolutely sell off. This thing could continue to just rip, and tomorrow's going to be up huge. So see if SPY is going to end up getting this move up above here, and then get the move to go back upside. That's what I'm going to want to see. But if it retests, hits supply, and then comes back down here as confirmation, then I'm going to enter in short on the retest of that and then play it to the downside. But yeah, SPY would have to break and hold above the supply zone of 560.5, and then that's where I'll look to get long. For downside, it's going to have to be that 558.3, and then targets down here. So if it breaks 559 and goes down to 558.5, I'll look for that to break, hold, and then enter on the retest, and then target those lower lows after that. So this right here would be the plan for SPY, and the key levels that I have, watching from 556.6 up to 562.3 currently, and I'll screenshot that. Go over to QQQ. Sweet. Make sure there wasn't any questions on there. QQQ. That's going to be a tough spot above, but we're right in the middle of this other freaking zone right here. QQQ. Personally, I mean, I like trading SPY better than Qs. $498 and $493. So QQQ is right in, like, I have a little no trade little spot right here, or a big spot where it can consolidate it or get really big moves off of. And it's exactly where they dropped the Qs and closed it going into the last session. So someone's confused in my Discord. I don't know how to get to the live. So yeah, QQQ, not interested. Lucy, stop. Not too interested in Qs as I am SPY, but 498, 493, that's just That's what I would watch on Qs. It's not in any squeezes right now. The only thing that sticks out to me is this could be a cup and handle. What a beautiful evening star right here that just freaking flushed it. And they closed it right there on the zone, right where the previous support was Friday at noon on that hammer. The low is 495.16. My level says 495.08, so I'm off by like a few cents, by 8 cents. And they held it, and that's where they closed it. So there is a potential cup and handle on QQQ here on the hourly. So watch to see how this sets up. So again, and this is just kind of lining up with how I'm going to like to trade Qs, and I think this is going to be the best. So you take that high here, right? And then we're going to take that previous high right here for that trend line, and then my 498 right here. That's going to line up perfectly. If I'm going to long the Qs, it's going to have to break that, and it's lining up perfectly. It's going to have to break it. It's going to have to make that support, and then it's going to have to go to that higher high. So that right there, that is going to be a big spot. That right there is going to be a big spot for QQQ. If QQQ can break and hold above that 498, I think that can be what it's going to need to go higher. First target's upside, I would say, is $500 psych level. 501.75. I'll target that at 503.70. That stupid wick at the top, I always mark those as well, believe it or not. 505.25. So that 498, I think is going to be the biggest thing on Qs. If QQQ can break and hold above 498, I'm going to target straight to $500 psych level, get that $2 pop, and then target 501.75, 503.70, and 505.25. Those would be my next targets above. For downside, initially, if QQQ does pop up here to low power, got 10%, got to move a little bit quicker. When it initially hits 498, I will absolutely look to go short. Just risk to reward is better. Unless I just see too much just strength across the market. But if I see any kind of bearish sign or signal, or seller step in there at 498, I might join the party for a short there. We'll see. But holding under 493 is going to be big. Get that drop down to that previous low, 490.7. Then after that, honestly, I'd probably target. And it looks like the hourly 200 is going to be there. So I would target there. This previous high there. After that, which is 488.66. So that's what I would target under 493. So potential cup and handle here on QQQ. Gotta move quick. IWM's on a freaking rocket ship. So if you look at IWM on the daily, look, it hasn't been this high fucking forever. It is entering into unknown territory. But 215 is going to smack it in the face. When IWM right there, that zone right there, and look where that lines up. Look how that lines up beautifully, right? Did it before. Look at that big shooting star there on the top. Look what's setting up again. So, risk to reward for a short term, because personally, for IWM, $300 calls for next year, they are not out of the question, and they're actually on the radar for me. I think IWM is going to soar higher in 2025. I think it's going to go to 300. So, but you can't deny that shooting star there doesn't look freaking identical on the daily right here in this, what I would say is daily supply. And I'll post this chart later because this is going to be a big one that I know most people are watching, because a lot of people are just seeing the strength that's on IWM, been talking about it lately. So I'll make sure to send that out. So under 213, honestly, just get that drop down to 211.3 and then target 210 psych level first will be big. And let me drop this down to the 15 so it looks a little bit better. There it is. So, well, let me get the screenshot. That was what, the daily? Yeah, that was the daily. Let me screenshot this. Cool. All right, so go to the 15. That lines up perfectly. So this spot down here, 211.3 to 210.86, around 211 on IWM. If it breaks and does an SR flip here, I would then target 210, 208.75, and then 207.75. If IWM rips and does an SR flip of 215, it can get wild for IWM with this strength that it's showing. I'm not sure if you notice in the right corner over here, the squeeze indicator, it's in a squeeze on the weekly and the monthly currently. So it's been, obviously, if you look at the daily, I mean, it's just been coiled up kind of for a while. So IWM can really get moving, and I like IWM because if you look at IWM versus SPY and Qs, it does what it wants to do. It doesn't really care about SPY and Qs. Sometimes I'll look at SPY and Qs for just maybe confluence. If all three are moving the same direction, I'm like, yeah, but IWM looks a tad bit stronger and all things are pushing, so I'll just tag on to the one that's moving better upside. But SPY and Qs can be dumping, and IWM can still be ripping. It does its own thing outside of SPY and Qs. So 215 and 211 on IWM, I think, are going to be the biggest things. So it's sitting right in the middle at 213.15. You can't ask for anything freaking better right now. They closed it perfectly. So they closed it right there across the freaking board. And that's where it closed right at the after hours. So $1.50 upside, $2.15, $1.50 downside, $2.12. So it's actually an extra dollar or so. It's 211.35 down to 211. So mark those two. That's what I would look. Going to go through SHOP very quickly because it's the same shit over and over again. SHOP just had a beautiful bounce off the daily 21 and held, and currently from Friday session it is about 30 cents right under it so far. I would say 64 needs to hold at the lowest, and if it does continue to hold and get bought back up and still hold the daily 21, it's going to go back up to 67, 68, and then once it does, the cup and handle can play out and then fill that gap to the upside. But if it fails 64, then it's going to fall back down very quickly to another dollar. I would short that very, very quick. I will have that on watch. If it breaks 64, it's going to get a straight flush down to 63. And if it really wants to after that, 61.7 and then 60.65 and then $60 psych level. But if it can get a break and hold and close above 66 to 66.12, that's where it will go back and target that high. And when it does, that's we want to see it break and then enter into that gap and then see if it fills it upside. So 66.12 and 64 on shop. Those would be my triggers. So if it loses 64, I'm going to target some puts and go downside. If it breaks and holds and goes above 66.2, I'm going to target 67, 68, and then the gap fill above on shop. Real quick, last two. Meta. Go to the 4 hour. Very, very easy. Perfect bounce here off the 200 EMA. I couldn't ask for anything better here on Meta. This is Meta's demand zone right now. This right here is going to be the big spot upside that it needs to get to, but that's where I'm going to take some profit. But what a beautiful green hammer candle off the lows here in the demand zone, right off that purple EMA, just right here, that 200 on the 4 hour. Beautiful hold there. So back above $500 psych level on Meta, so now I can drop it down to say the 5 minute. So if it can break and hold back above $500 psych level, I'm going to target 505, 508, 510, and 514. Under 495, I would target 492. When's the last time it was down here near that low? That 490 psych level, yeah, that's right there. Let's move. Don't want to move that one. 490 psych level, 492. That 492 is going to be really big on the Meta. If it breaks 495, that 492 is going to be very big. Because you'll see here, here, just every time it comes down and tests that spot, it's gotten bought back up quite a few times. So under 495, I target 492, lowest down to 490. And then again, upside $500 psych level, take it to 500. If it breaks above 500, then these three right there, 507.75, 510.8, and then 514, those will be targets upside. It's looking good for upside. So I'm going to screenshot this chart as well. Then I want to see go hit all those levels. Or honestly, if it breaks above, does the SR flip at 505, that would be even just more beautiful. It's kind of what I want to see there on Meta. AMD, 4 hour chart. looks very, very interesting. So 187.3 was a level that I had previously here on AMD, right? And I didn't chase AMD on this last run, but I sure shit called out that level to short that. And so far, it has done it. 1, 2, and 3 times. So mark 187.3 on AMD. If AMD breaks and holds above 187.3, it's going to go to 190. It's going to go to 192.75. It's going to go to 195. 196.70. That would be a big full target right here around this 198.5 to 200 psych level right there. So again, if you do not have 187.3 on AMD marked, I would mark it. If it gets a break and hold above that, again, 190, 192.75 to 195, eventually 198.5 to $200 psych level would be the full big target upside, in my opinion, on it. For downside, the only thing, and it's not very clean, but it does. Ooh, that's a big ass bug. It does look a little bit like a head and shoulders. It's a little slanted here, but you do have the left shoulder. You would have the head up here, and then you would have that right shoulder right there. So it's not the cleanest head and shoulders, but I'm not counting it out. And I'm also going to watch this trend line right here. So if it breaks this 180.5 down to this 179.75, so if you smack it right in the middle, it's that 180 psych level. I'm going to target 175.3 to the downside after that on AMD. So if I drop it down to the 5-minute intraday, here, there you go, that lines up. So essentially, on AMD, if it breaks that trend line in this zone here and does the SR flip, that's where my put entry is going to take place. It's on that retest right there. And then I'm going to target this right here. 175.3. So that's potentially what I am going to look at on AMD. Obviously, there's a little intra target right here. So that's what I would look for on AMD personally. The downside seems a little bit more probable for the short term. And then I would not be surprised if it does pull back $7, which isn't much for AMD. Honestly, AMD can just do that in one session. If it does break that trend line, it goes down to 175. When it hits 175, I will, if I'm in a short, I'll be looking to close that short, and I'll be looking to potentially flip long by that point. So definitely something to notice on the 4 hour there. Again, 187.3. That's going to be my call trigger. And then the put trigger, I guarantee you, the 21 EMA here on the 4 hour, it's going to line up perfectly with this trend line. If AMD starts to pull back, that 21 EMA, I guarantee, is going to line up right there with that trend line. So when those two things break on the 4 hour, that's when I'm going to target that 175.3 downside on AMD when that happens. So other than that, those are the 6 SPY